Hey, Drew, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I work for the Philadelphia Inquirer, and I covered Dan Chisena last year, and I know you
Yeah.
guys were team gunner mates.
Yeah.
And I just wondered what it was like last season. I mean, you and Dan, I thought had like fabulous years as far as getting to the returners. First of all, could you just talk about Dan and his contribution to the unit, and then I'll ask you about you.
Yeah. I think Dan was a big time player. Obviously he was really fast, but he was also really smart, and he also just made me a better player. It's kind of just a privilege to be around him, and then to have us kind of as the 1-2 punch on punt, having the year that we had, it was pretty cool.
Uh-huh. Now, what's led last year to the improvement in your game? I know obviously you said Dan helped you, but what did you do to be better at what you excelled at?
Yeah, I think it was just the more experience I got, kind of the better I got, the more I could expect certain things, and especially on special teams, it's not really as much X's and O's. It's kind of just going out there and playing. So the more experience I got, the easier it got for me.
What's that like for you? Is that like fun to like just sprint down the field as fast as you can and try to get
Uh,
there, beat the ball to the guy?
it is pretty fun. It gets tiring after a while, but it's pretty fun. Yeah.
What other special teams do you play on besides punt coverage?
Last year I played on every one. Hopefully I can do that again this year. Yeah.
So what was distinctive about, like, say, kickoff coverage? I mean, he kicks the ball in the end zone every time, so that's just a sprint for you. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you don't have to
Yeah.
do much.
I'm glad we got one of the best kickers in the country, but doing 70-yard sprints after a while, it does get pretty repetitive. But
It's always that one chance out of 50 that it's not
yeah,
going in the end zone, right?
yeah, right. You just gotta be ready.
Uh-huh. Uh, Give me a little idea of your background. Now, you ran track in high school.
Yeah.
How good were you?
I think my best time was a 10.5. I always struggled on the last like 20 meters in a race. I always feel like a lot to improve on in track.
Uh-huh. And I saw in the media guide, last year's media guide, that in winter workouts in 2018-19, you had the fastest 40 time.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I ran a 4.25. I think the last time we ran 40s.
Uh-huh. Did you run any in this season's off-season workout before the pandemic?
No, we haven't really gotten the chance because it's just been a lot different of an off season this year.
Uh-huh. Are you curious?
Um, I'm kind of curious. I don't think I lost a step, so I think I'd still be kind of around that time that I ran last time.
Right. I wonder too. Obviously, you're a safety on defense.
Mm.
What do you hope to achieve this year? More playing time. What do you have to do to kind of break in and not maybe start, but be a significant contributor?
Yeah, I think just be a dependable guy that the coaches and also my teammates can rely on. I kind of pride myself on that, and the more dependable I can be and show that to the coaches, I think the better off I'll be.
Uh-huh. Is there anybody in the secondary who kind of gives you advice or kind of helps you along?
Yeah, I would definitely say Sutherland. He's a super smart guy. I definitely kind of lean on him for advice.
What kind of advice?
Stuff with the playbook, what you can expect at a certain sets, stuff like that.
Uh-huh. What um, what led you to Penn State? I know you're from Hanover.
Mm,
That's what, near Lancaster, York area there.
yeah,
Uh-huh. What led you to Penn State, and what made you choose football over basketball and track?
yeah. I kind of always just been a Penn State fan growing up, in that area. And, when I got to meet Coach Franklin and come on visits and stuff, you just realize it's a special place. And these coaches really have the best interest for you at heart. And that's the biggest reason probably why I chose Penn State.
Right. Were you a scholarship athlete from the get-go?
No.
When
Mm.
did you do you have a scholarship? I guess is the next.
No, no, I don't. No.
Oh, what's it like? Bill O'Brien used to call you guys the run-ons because he
Hmm.
thought because you hustled so much, it wasn't good to call you a walk-on. So
Yeah.
what has that life been like for you?
Um, I wouldn't say it's different from anybody else. Everybody on the team is the same, treated the same. We just have everyone has a different path. And I just kind of had to carve mine out, and it's just been a little bit different than everybody else's.
Uh-huh. And that was last spring, not this past spring, because there was no spring game. But I remember the spring game before Dan Chisena got a scholarship in the blue-white game. How did you feel for them when he had that? When Coach Franklin made that announcement on the field?
Yeah, that was awesome. I was so happy for Dan. He earned that. Seeing the work that he put in since he's been here, I was extremely happy for him.
Uh-huh. What would that be like if you were his shoes as we go along this season?
It would be surreal. I don't really have words for that, honestly.
Okay, I'm pretty much done. Drew, appreciate your time and the question and answering the questions. Anybody else wants to come in?
I was gonna say, if anyone else has any questions, you just use the raise your hand function in the participants section there, and we will get to you. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Nicole.
Ryan, let me unmute you. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Drew. Just with the threat of different guys missing games due to the pandemic and the 21-day quarantine period, have you considered or thought about playing different positions or trying out different roles in the secondary or on special teams so you'd be able to fill in for one of those roles?
I think on special teams I could definitely fill in for multiple roles because the playbook and stuff isn't like offense and defense, so it's not hard to pick up, I guess, but I haven't really in the secondary as of right now.
Do you have anything else, Ryan?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Perfect. Go ahead, Joe, when you're ready.
Ryan asked a good question about the COVID. What was your off season like? What did you do at home to kind of stay in training, stay in shape?
I tried to get to the field whenever I could, even though it was challenging at times. Tried to work out, really do anything I could, even though it was a lot different of an off season, not having access to a weight room or all the time to a field. So it was a lot different. It was challenging at times.
Right. What have you done since you've been back? Since you came back in June, what have you done to kind of catch up with your conditioning?
Yeah, they have runs for us and lifts for us. It's kind of just like they're trying to make it as normal as possible, just like before we left. So hasn't really been a change from what the strength program was before. So I feel like I'm back to what I was.
Uh-huh. What was it like waiting and waiting and waiting to find out if you were going to have a season?
Yeah, it was frustrating. There's so many unknowns with this. You don't really know what's going to happen. So it's definitely been frustrating at times.
Yeah. And what have you done? Coach talks about everybody being responsible with their behaviors now, not going out and hanging around with kids. What is your thought on, just making sure that you and everyone on the team is staying safe?
Yeah, I think after practice, just kind of hang around your roommates as much as possible. You don't really go out or do too much. I pretty much only leave to get food, stuff like that. And other than that, I'm pretty much playing video games in my room or doing some sort of homework. So.
Ryan, go ahead when you're ready.
Sure. So yesterday the team announced that they'd be giving the inaugural number 0 to a special teams player. Do you have any person in mind that you think would be deserving of that number?
There's a lot of guys on the team that could be deserving of that. A couple guys that pop in my mind is definitely Sutherland, definitely Jordan Stout, maybe Jesse Lucetta. I could see that too. We just have so many guys that are key contributors on special teams right now. So I really don't know.
Matthew, go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hey, Drew, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
So I think this was probably touched on before I jumped into the room, but just Joe was asking you a little bit about the uncertainty of coming back to the season. When you found out you were going to have a season, just what were the emotions like for you?
I was excited. I was ready to get back and get to work. I've been waiting to play football for a while, and with all the uncertainty and stuff, I was definitely just happy and excited to be back.
Who are some of the people, or any people like back home you were talking to kind of just, either get concerns out there or just that for people to lift your spirits up? Any of your old high school teammates or coaches that you were leaning on during that time?
Yeah, definitely some of the guys in my class, Kobe Carball, Austin Rusin, guys that I played with that I tried to work out with them as much as possible, because just to have someone to push you, since working out by yourself can be challenging at times, they were a big help for me.
I asked some of the coaches this yesterday and didn't get a great answer. You still think you're the fastest guy on the team, or is that to be determined?
I guess this year it's to be determined, but I'm still going to go myself.
What are you running in the 40 right now?
I haven't ran a 40 since the last time we ran it here, but I don't feel like I lost a step, so I'd still say around what I ran this last time.
And what are some of your goals for this season? Obviously, you've been a main special team in the past couple of years. What are you looking to accomplish this year?
Yeah, just embracing my role, trying to do anything I can to help this team win games. Obviously, if my role is on special teams, just doing my job, being an accountable and dependable guy that coaches can lean on.
And do you know, going into a redshirt junior year, what your future holds, like after this year, or you've not really thought about that yet?
I haven't really thought about it that much, to be honest with you. I'm just focused on this season and excited to be back playing football here.
All right. I'm good for now.
Thanks, Matthew. Anyone else, if you have questions, if you use the raise my hand tool, we can get to you. Andrew, let me unmute you. Whenever you're ready, Andrew.
Hey, Drew, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Work for Fox 43, so we get out to Southwestern every so often. You mentioned leaning on the guys back at home. I got to wonder, did you talk to Chris at all, Coach Alleman at all when you were back home?
I didn't talk to him that much, no, but I've been by the program a couple of times in the past year or so, so I've been in contact with him every now and then.
Why are Southwestern guys, besides being called the Mustangs, so fast? Between you, Delanche, who I know has been gone a year, like what's in the water out there, man?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I think it has to do with our work ethic and stuff like that. But I don't know, because Delanche was just naturally fast too. So yeah, there's definitely something going on there that makes us different.
The with the new tradition, the number 0 being announced for that, with you primarily being a special team guy so far in your Penn State career, is that something that jacks you guys up? And have you been told exactly what the criteria is going to be to kind of earn that?
We haven't really been told what the criteria is going to be, but it definitely, I think, has everybody excited, because I know a lot of people are trying to get that new number 0, and seeing that it's going to be put out for a special teams guy, I think, has everyone really bought in, and now everyone's going to try to get that number.
Some guys are superstitious about changing numbers, or if I guess it would be a weekly thing that would go out. What are your thoughts on it? Like, would you trade in your number to or have maybe be uneasy about trading in your number for that number 0?
No, I don't think so. I'm not really superstitious about numbers or anything like that. I've never had like a go-to number, my whole life growing up throughout sports. So I wouldn't really care about switching numbers or anything like that.
Gotcha. And I thought I heard Matt ask this question, but I was kind of tuned out there for a second. When you look at your role on defense, what are you what does it look like right now going in for you, and what role you're going to play? And by the end of the year, what are you hoping to accomplish on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, just trying to embrace my role, whatever it is. I'm just trying to work to improve, and, whatever it is, just to be an accountable and dependable guy for my teammates and coaches to lean on, whatever my role is on defense or special teams.
Gotcha. When you see what Dan did in the NFL,
Yeah.
going from, wide receiver, he's not the first Penn State guy to do that too. I mean, I guess when you were probably back in like maybe middle school or even younger, there was a guy, Ethan Kilmer, on an Orange Bowl team that came up from Shippensburg, special team player, then grinded in the NFL. with the Bengals. Do you like look back on those examples for motivation and drive for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely awesome to be a part of a tradition of guys that, work hard and make it to the next level. Chisena and, being the most recent example, it definitely pushes me, motivates me to be better. But at the end of the day, I just got to take care of my business and do my job. And hopefully I'll have the same opportunities as those guys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Matt, I think that was a new hand raise.
Yeah, so I have a few more for our local guys. So Drew, who are some of the teammates over the past couple of years that have kind of pushed you to keep helping yourself get better as a player?
Up at here at Penn State?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I definitely say my roommates, Jonathan Sutherland, has pushed me tremendously to be a better teammate in person. Definitely Journey Brown. He's someone that I've leaned on, heavy over the years and has always been there for me anytime I needed advice or anything like that. So I'd definitely say those two guys.
Do you ever think back to what you went through in high school with the ACL and the adversity of your senior year and just how far you come and probably some of the doubts? 'Cause I remember your senior year, it was pretty crazy when you took this opportunity. Do you ever think about that and just how far you've come since then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think about it, but when it gets brought up to me, it kind of puts everything in perspective. It is crazy the kind of journey that I've been on and all the unknowns that I've kind of had to go through and stuff like that. But looking back and seeing the work that I put in to be able to make it to where I'm at and to have the opportunities I have, it's just a big blessing, and I'm extremely grateful.
Do you get a sense that some of your other teammates here kind of know your story and just, a kid who had an offer early on, went through the injury, had to kind of fight to get playing time? Do you feel like that they're aware of all the stuff you had to fight through?
I don't know if everyone's aware. I know probably some people are aware, definitely the people I'm closer to on the team probably know my story better than others. So.
And what's it been like to keep getting to know your teammates and you mentioned guys like Journey Brown, who are closer to that kind of star level. What's it been like as a guy who came in as, a preferred walk-on to keep building relationships with guys who came in with, maybe a little bit more fanfare?
Yeah. When everyone comes in, it's different because you don't look at them from a fan's perspective. You just look at them as like your friend or your buddy. So it's weird to see, a guy like Journey or Sutherland in that light because I just look at him as my friend. But yeah.
And then Andrew was asking you about some of the guys who have found roles in pro football and the NFL through special teams. And you mentioned wanting those same opportunities. Do you think about making the NFL, or do you talk to coaches about with your skills as a special teams player, having a chance there?
It's not something that I really talk about. I just know that, if I do my job, if I'm an accountable, dependable guy, make the plays that I'm supposed to make on teams, I'll have an opportunity just like everyone else that's come before me.
And then, all right, final question for me. You say you're not sure if you're the fastest guy yet, but if there's one guy you wanted to race on the team that really had that challenge, who would it be?
Oh, Journey. Yeah. He's in my ear all the time, so I had to just beat him.
All right. I think that's all the questions I got for you. But Drew, it was good talking to you. Good seeing you.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Thanks, Matt.